Well, welcome to the Inspired Voices podcast. I am Rita Stevens. I am not only your host, but I am also the founder of Silent Voices, where we ensure that parents have access to resources to better advocate for their children. And we also encourage you to know that your voice matters. We are joined today by an amazing guest, and I'm super excited to share this information with you. But first, let me say, if you are new to our channel, thank you for being here, and we ask that you like and subscribe so that you don't miss any other upcoming conversations. But if you are a returning friend to the Inspired Voices podcast, thank you for coming back. Yvonne, thank you so much for being here with me today to just share this wonderful information with parents and to talk about your organization. Would you mind sharing, just do a quick introduction of yourself and share a little bit about what you do and your why?
Good morning, Rita. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so honored to be a guest on your platform, and I'm really excited for being here. My name is Yvonne Marcias. I am the owner of Mylar Health Services, and I am a physical therapist assistant of 32 years. And so it has been such an amazing career that I have, and I've been able to meet so many amazing parents and children throughout my career, and I I am so honored to be a part of their family and seeing their journey from children, from small all the way up to adulthood. I have remained friends, I've remained the therapist for many, many years, and so I've seen the children transition into adulthood. And so, what I have realized is the reason that I am so passionate about my agency and the services that I bring is I have realized over the years that having a child with special needs is such a difficult financial, and I don't want to say burden, but it's very difficult. It's a financial strain on the families. And so one of the reasons why I created Mylar is the state of Texas has implemented a program to the individuals under the waiver programs. And I learned about it and I got so excited about it that I really wanted to bring this out to the community and all my families that I work with.
Thank you so much for that. I think that it's so important to have people like you who recognize those services are needed and willing to start businesses to actually provide that service to our community. So I think that's really important. So thank you for doing that. So you mentioned ISS. Can you explain just a little bit about what does that really mean to parents?
Okay, ISS is it was developed in March of 2023. And so basically, ISS is individualized socialization skills. And what the state has done is they have removed the name Dayhab from the centers where children that age out and now they're adults, they go to a center and they have activities. And it's basically, it's like a school, a daycare for the kids.
Mhm.
And so they've changed the name now from Dayhab over to ISS. And so ISS has three different components. It has the on-site, which is the center that they offer. So you basically take their child to the center and they're there from 6 hours. It can be from 8 to 2 or 9 to 3, whatever. And then they go back home. The other component is in home. And so the mom can get paid or the caregiver can get paid to care for them in home. And then the other part of it is called offsite. Mylar offers offsite services only. And so offsite is also offered in the on-site program, which is Dayhab, just for, the people that are aware with it. So you take them to the facility, they will take them out to the community, they take them to the library, swimming. They have all sorts of different activities, which is great. And so when they take them out of the center into the community, then they start billing under offsite. Well, these funds are also available for families that are in the home. So the children that don't go to day habs, either it's too overwhelming for them, or they don't do well in group settings, or they just don't enjoy being there. And so the mom has chosen to keep the child at home. But these services offsite, if she takes them out to the community, to church, to the fair, to the library, swimming, then now mom can get paid to take them out to the community. And the only way to get access to these funds is through a licensed agency like mine. So it's a process. But it was something that I felt was very important for families to have. There's so many different resources and programs out there that my goal is to get awareness and have the families make a decision if this is a program that's going to work for them or not.
And I think that is so important what you just said. And thank you for sharing, the differences between the different types of services that you can receive. But in particularly, this is offsite services. So for parents, I just want to speak to you for just a second. For those of you who have your children at home and you are taking your children out, you're taking them to the park where other children are. You're taking them to the library. You're taking them to museums. You're taking them to different places like that. In essence, it is you getting paid, right, Yvonne,
Yes,
to
yes.
do what you're going to do with your child anyway. But
Yep.
here's how I see this. I see this as an amazing opportunity for parents to be able to have the funding to take their child to events and locations and museums that cost for you to go there. So, for example, if you were going to Crayola for a Crayola experience, right? That is socialization, but it's a
Yes.
cost to get into Crayola. The same thing with the zoo. That is socialization with other people and other children, but it's a cost to get into the zoo. So she's basically saying, hey, we're offering a service to pay you to continue doing what you do right now, right?
That's correct. Yes. Uh-huh.
I don't know if
It's
it
an
can get any
amazing
better.
program. It's an amazing program, and I'm just so excited to be a part of it. But that's essentially what this is I set up the caregiver. So if the mom is the legal guardian, she does not qualify, but if dad's involved, then dad can be the caregiver. If there's a sibling that's 18 years or older, then they can be the caregiver. And there are some certain circumstances where if there's no one else in the home and mom is a single mom and she's the host home, there are exceptions. I will be able to process them as the caregiver because there's no other options. I
Wow.
have had a few parents that they just want a break or the child doesn't want to go out with the mom.
Mhm.
And so we work closely with other organizations to get caregivers to come out, or I can look for the caregiver myself. Whatever challenges that the families face, Mylar's going to do everything we can to make sure that we have a solution to whatever issues might be coming up.
Yeah,
We're
and
not just going to
think that's
offer the program to you and let you figure it out. Like, we're not going to do that. We're going to do everything we can to ensure that you're able to utilize these funds as it works best for your family. And if you need us to help you with medical equipment, obviously I can't buy it, but I can direct you to how you need to go about getting, the wheelchair.
mhm.
If it's a caregiver that, you need a male caregiver to handle maybe, the 40-year-old child that, mom is now 70 is unable, then I'm going to do everything in my power to find that right person to match that family.
And I think that's so amazing, Yvonne. And I appreciate you for sharing that because, in this space, I too am a parent of a child that has multiple disabilities. And one thing that we want more than anything is to know that someone actually cares and someone that we can trust. And so we're going to always try to bring people to you guys that we have personally spoken to and that we trust will do the right thing by your family. And so, what do you think is one of the most challenging parts of this process for parents? And how do they start early to kind of overcome those challenges? What do you think is the most challenging part?
What we have found the most challenging part is really getting the case managers, they have a very heavy caseload. They have 30, 40 kids that they have to manage all their funds and their programs. So it's really hard for the case managers to be aware of all the new programs that are coming out and how to access those funds. And
Mhm.
so I have gone in and really have connected with a lot of the agencies, and I'll meet with the case managers, and I really try to give them all the information they need to get the information out to the family. So I think that's been the biggest challenge, is really explaining the program to the case managers and how we can utilize it, because they're familiar with the offsite program, but they're familiar with it that's on a on site, so like a day hab. They don't realize that we can also utilize those funds for the kids that stay at home. So that's been, one of the hurdles that we've been having to cross, but that's fine. That's what we're doing, and we're providing all the information that they're needing, and we're starting to see understanding of the program. So that's exciting. Um, and just getting the paperwork, the documentation from the office. We need the IP, the PDP, and the IPC. So we need those three documents from the agency, and we need it to reflect that the ISS has been implemented on their plan and the hours. And so there's a lot that goes behind the scenes, but that's between Mylar and your agency, your case manager. We will work out all that. The parents don't need to do any of that.
That's very helpful to know. So to kind of sum that up, I think it's important that, this is a space where parents, we are encouraging you to advocate for your children.
Yes.
And so once you find out about the service, you can go and ask your case manager. You can actually, excuse me, guys, you can have conversations with your case manager so that you are able to get these services. I think that's super important. Yeah, so I think that's really helpful what you just shared for parents to know what some of those roadblocks are. So if you have questions, parents, you know who to go to and what to ask, but also understand that Yvonne and her team are actually going to help you through that process. So you don't have to feel alone in trying to get that done. What are some of the most significant changes that you've seen with parents after utilizing the ISS services? I know that as a parent, sometimes we don't want to take our child out because we don't know where to take them, or we don't know what people are going to say, but we know that community involvement for a child is super important. What are some of the changes that you've seen?
I think I've seen a lot of what I've seen is I have seen families get a little closer together. I have this, for example, I have a mom that her daughter is 27 and she has Angelman syndrome. And so she's all over the place. And so mom never would really take her anywhere because it was too much for mom to handle her out into the community. And so I sat with her and we talked about different activities that she can do with her daughter. And one of the solutions that I came up with, it was, oh, why don't you just get her in a wheelchair and take her out to the mall and just push her around? And mom looked at me and she's like, that has never crossed my mind, because her daughter is ambulatory, so she never needed a wheelchair. And so after getting her the wheelchair, I have programs and I have agencies that I am aware of and that I partner up with, and they have medical equipment to donate. And so I have accessibility to this equipment. So I went and I got a just a standard wheelchair and I took it over to mom. And she says that now she's spending a lot more time with her daughter. She takes her out into the mall and she did just that. And she was astonished at how well her daughter did. And she was smiling and her daughter wasn't running all over the place. And, mom's anxiety wasn't, high because her daughter's getting into stuff. And so it's very simple things like that parents just don't really think about. But since I'm an outsider, I'm also a therapist. I see things maybe through a different lens. And I try to provide a solution to all the things. So for me, I think the biggest changes is just, the child spending more time with their family members, or just the child spending more time outside of the home, out into the community, out in the park. Um, Mylar works really hard at finding activities that are free for our kids and for the community. So fairs, there's a organization that we're teaming up with, and they do a lot of twice a month. They'll do activities like they'll take a group of kids out bowling, like they're going bowling today. And so these are all we're partnering up with all these activities and getting a resource list, and we're going to provide all these activities to the families so that they can go out and take them to activities that people aren't going to be looking at them, or they're not going to be bothering person next door, because their child is having a meltdown. It's all like parents, and so everyone has been there, done that. And so that's really what I'm pushing, is trying to find activities that the family and the child will really enjoy.
And I think you said something that was just so great, not just for the children, right? But as a parent, when you're able to get your child out in the community, it's good for you to come out of that isolation of being in your home. Sometimes as a parent, we're just kind of in our own bubble, right? But in
Right.
this space, we know that we have to have community. And as you are able to get out in the community, you too are able to form community for yourself. And I think that's
Yes.
really, really, really important. You also led into the next segue, which is access to resources. And so I've heard you say that, you two are a therapist, and so you look for resources that the parents can have access to. Is that still, that's correct?
Yes, that's correct. So we we spend quite a bit of time looking into the community and trying to find acts, areas that would be like, let's say, a swimming pool. If the child wants to go swimming and the child is in a wheelchair, then I need to find all the handicap accessible pools that are indoor and that they can get the child in and out safely. Maybe, talk to the mom about, the different type of life jackets that would be good. Like if the child doesn't have good head control, they do make some life jackets that are, that really support the head so that, they'll be safe. So those are kind of the things that I do, that I go above and beyond, because I really, really want to make sure that if the child likes to go swimming, then what can I do to make sure that that child is going to go swimming? And
Yeah.
what are the obstacles that we face? And so those are the resources, the right location. If the child seeks a lot of sensory, then I'm going to look for a gym somewhere, like a soft gym where they can run and jump and trampoline. And so I'm really looking for these activities, and when they have, maybe, is it better to do an annual pass versus paying, every time you go? When does the Dallas Arboretum have discount prices? And so, yeah, these are all the resources that we're compiling, and we send out to the families as we get them. And if we find out about a fair that's going to be directed mainly for special needs, I mean, that's the first one that we send out to, because the fairs are always free for the family, and the kids just love them. I've been to so many, and I just see them
Having a
just
blast.
really enjoying themselves. Yeah,
Well, see, and that's what I can definitely appreciate about your organization is that it's not just a program that you are putting parents and their children in, but you're really walking alongside them in this journey
yes,
because it
yes.
definitely is a journey. And that's what we need. We want providers that are going to walk alongside with us in the journey and help us find those resources. So, as you know, our organization is all about advocacy. So, what is one of the ways that you would say parents can help better advocate for their child? What's one way that you would say parents can better advocate for their child?
Just learning about the different resources and funding that is available to your child. There's so many different programs out there that, parents have to deal with school districts, with the teachers, with the doctors, with nursing, with therapists. They
Mhm.
have so much more than just, a parent that has, a typical
Typical
child.
child, yeah.
And it's overwhelming. And so it's what I really want the parents to know is that you can and you should fight for your child for all these programs that are available out there for them. So a lot of times there's a little bit of resistance, or um, they say, no, your child doesn't qualify, and that may be the case, but why? What is it about it? Just really ask the hard questions, and it's okay to push it a little bit. It's okay to fight for your child.
Mm.
I am bilingual, and so I do have a lot of Spanish speaking moms that they're a little timid, and they do become a little nervous about speaking too loud, or making a big fuss. And so that's where I tell them, no, you have the right. This is your child's right by law. And so I always try to give them the resources. Okay, reach out to this company. They will advocate for you. And so, just knowing the rights of the child, I think is, a big part of what I do. I really push hard to try to educate my families and just, be a resource for them.
That's good. So she dropped two really good nuggets there, guys. One is ask the hard questions.
Mhm.
So
Yes.
ask the why. It's okay to ask why something is not, available for your child. And the second nugget I think that you put there is push. It is okay to push just a little bit, push that button a little bit to see how much is out there for your child. And that's how you're going to find out. You have to be able to ask the hard questions and push. Thank you so much for that, Yvonne. That's really
Yes.
good. What are some upcoming changes that we are going to be seeing with Mylar Health Services?
Well, we are really excited. We're working on organizing a 5K run. And what I am wanting to do is get sponsors and try to build as much funds as I can so that I can donate that to all the non-for-profit organizations that I'm with, and just really strengthening the entire community. And so everybody that is out there working for the children and providing services for the special needs population, that's what I want to do. So I want to start doing fundraisers and doing fairs myself, and just really trying to create a community sense, for the families, a resource fair. And then, like I said, just any funds that we get and that we raise, I'm gonna just donate it and put it back into the community and give it to the all of the non-for-profit organizations that are doing a great thing, and so that they can continue to grow and provide more and more services, because there's a really big need out there. So
Yeah,
that's what Mylar is working on.
those are some amazing initiatives, and I applaud you for doing that. And I look forward to partnering with you and seeing how far we can take this thing because it really is about the parents in those families. And I see that in not only what you say, but also in what you do. So I appreciate you for doing that. How can other parents get in contact with you and determine if this is a good fit for them?
So, of course, you can always call me. We do have a website. It's right behind me. It's mylarhealthservices.com. And so that gives a little blurb about what we do and all the activities that we're working on. And then if you want to send me an email, you can email me at info@mylarhealthservices.com and we can answer all your questions there. And then our office number is 214-998-5544. And feel free to call or text. We do accept text on that line, and so we can answer all your questions. And if it's something that you don't know if your child qualifies for, we can find that information out. There are 3 waiver programs that are funding this program right now. It's not all of them. So right now we do have the HCS. They fund this program. Texas Home Living, and DBMD. Those are the 3 waiver programs that have implemented this program. And there is word that class and MDCP is going to pick it up, but as of yet, they haven't done so. So soon as they pick it up, that's going to be exciting because now everybody's going to have access to these funds. And I'm praying that by 2026, they'll be getting on this program.
I think that would be amazing. So
Mhm.
I also wanted to just jump in real quick and share this with you guys for anybody who is watching that is outside of the state of Texas. So this program and for Mylar is specifically for the state of Texas, but there may be other programs like this in your state. And so use this information so that you can go out and find that additional information. But if you are in the state of Texas, I encourage you to reach out to Yvonne at Mylar Health Services to see if this is a good fit for you. Now, before we end our conversation, I always like to ask this question. What would you like to share? How can you help parents advocate and have a voice for their child as it relates to advocacy? Any impactful word of encouragement that you would like to share with parents so that they can better advocate for their child?
I think the biggest hurdle and challenges that I see is parents get tired. They're tired and they just need a break and they get overwhelmed with everything, and it's okay to ask for help. And
Mm,
so I need parents to understand that they also need a break, and it's okay for them to let their child go with a caregiver, and it's okay for them to walk away for a certain amount of hours. And if you can get away for a weekend, parents need to do that. And so I highly encourage families to do whatever they can to at least take a break and take some me time,
mm,
because parents, especially moms, and I'm not saying it's only moms, I know dads out there are very involved as well, but we not only carry, the care of the child, but we have to run the house and we may have a job that we're doing. And we also, moms always put themselves last.
yeah.
And it's okay to take a break and ask for help. And I really encourage you. And this program, you can utilize these funds to get someone else to care for your child so that you can get my me time and go get a massage, go get your nails done, go get your hair done, do something that's going to make you feel really good and just
Mhm.
take a break.
Yeah. What an encouraging word. And parents, I 100% agree with Yvonne. It is life-changing for you to take that break because when you come back, you're going to be a better parent. You're going to be ready. You're going to have a clear mind and you're going to be able to better advocate for your child and know that your voice matters. So we will make sure that we include Yvonne's information in the captions and in the information with the video for today. So please reach out to her if you have any questions. I highly encourage you to reach out to Mylar Health Services and take advantage of this program, not only for yourself, but also for your child. And remember, your voice matters. Thank you, Yvonne, so much.
You're welcome. Thank you so much for having me.